All right. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so apparently I am now streaming right now on YouTube. I have not hit record yet.
Okay.
So anyone out there who happens to see this video on my channel, we're about to do cancer class, and welcome to Energy Speaks with Katriel's channel. I'm gonna be hitting record soon. All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Question, hun, real quick. Should I
Yeah.
record to the or should I record to the computer?
I would record to the cloud.
Okay. Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is our class for the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series for Cancer Week. We have the class tonight is the Zodiac Empath skills. So, I am Katriel. Anyone who is watching this in the real time on YouTube, welcome and thank you. I decided at the very last moment that I was going to allow the public to see this particular class, since we had no signups as of right now. And so, um, I also want to say thank you, Jaina, my partner and fiance, um, for being here tonight. And I'm excited.
Me too.
All right. So I have a nice little what do you call it? Slideshow for tonight. So I'm going to put that up. Just got to figure out which one it is. That one. And then I'm going to do something else. How do I?
Hit play.
Where's play? Where do you see the play?
Right
Ah,
there.
oh, because I have a bar that's kind of,
Ah.
hang on. Let me move it to the bottom. There we go. There we go. All right. Well, welcome again to the Zodiac Empath class for Cancer. And nope, that's not it. Okay, I just hit that button. We're gonna do our little meet and greet. So I am Katriel. That is my name. Where I am from, I am a citizen of Florida and Israel, and hopefully soon Glastonbury. And somehow, oh yeah, okay, cool. And my moon sign is Cancer, which is kind of really funny. So there you go. So Jane, even though I just kind of said your name, whatever. Go ahead with the introduction for yourself.
I'm Jaina. I currently reside in Florida, hopefully soon Glastonbury. Um, and I am an Aquarius moon.
Brilliant. I love that. Eh, okay, hang on. There we go. All right. So pretend you're not looking at all of these cool little facts. What do you know about the Cancer energy?
Cancer is a water sign. So it really is a lot about emotions. Um, yeah, it's ruled by the moon. I know that much.
Anything else?
Without looking. I'm
Yes,
drawing a
without
blank.
looking. Okay, it's okay. So, as you said, Cancer, its element is water. And the dynamic that it plays, it's a cardinal sign, which means it's an initiator. Um, so it's wanting to initiate something rather than a fixed sign, being in the middle and kind of getting her done kind of deal. And mutable is more so changeable. Um, Cardinal also is at the beginning of a season. So that is why it is called. So it's at the beginning of summer. Therefore, it is the
Mm.
initiator of summer. If we were to break down the water type for Cancer, we would say it's a liquid. Rather than like Scorpio, which we mentioned in our Scorpio class, is more like ice. Um, you are correct. The planet that rules Cancer is the moon. And we see Cancer season, it was the season right before this, as we're in Leo right now. It goes from June 21st through July 22nd. Of course, the constellation is Cancer, and its mascot is the crab. Now, any other characteristics you can think about in regards to Cancer without looking?
Um, Cancer, like, especially, well, like I know about you, Cancer moon, you want to make sure everybody's taken care of. It's a little bit, it's like I said, it's an emotion, like it's really about emotion, sensitivity, um, and nurturing energy.
Yes. So, um, nurturing is a huge piece of Cancer energy, because it is led by the moon. There's a connection point of like the moon being um connected to the mother, and that
Mm,
mother naturally wants to nurture its child. Um, so you'll often see, you know, when there's nurturing energy, you can also overextend yourself as well. Which is why we're having this class in regards to the empath. Because one can drain themselves by taking care of other people, rather than, you know, nurturing the self. Cancer, the Cancer energy is a very sensitive energy. Yes,
hmm
emotionally, but it also is very sensitive in feeling in general. It can really tap into, from a more metaphysical perspective, it it can be sensitive to energies of intuitively knowing something. So there's different ways to look at sensitivities. As we said
hmm
before, the Cancer is an initiator. So it will naturally want to initiate things. Cancers can be moody. You may see a lot of emotions flowing out of someone who has Cancer largely in their chart. Again, my moon sign, the moon being in the same sign, makes that impact a bit stronger. So someone with a Cancer moon is very, very intuitive, and is you know is more likely to be, sensitive to energies than someone, um and feel it, like truly, like be um taken almost over by the emotion than someone with like an Aquarius moon. I
hmm
use that an example a lot, but we just happen to naturally have the example. um, so cancers are caring, helpful oftentimes, intuitive, protective. Why would a Cancer be more protective? Well, we see behind us, you know, in the picture, we have the crab, and that crab has a shell. And that shell is like it's home, right? It's a shelter. So naturally, Cancer energy wants to be the protector over the home. And so it will, when it's in its superpower, is really into shielding things. Then Cancer energy is also very creative. So yes, we at some point spoke about Leo energy being super creative. Yes, it is in a different way. It's connected to the sun energies. Well, those are more divine masculine, shining kind of creation energy. Well, while the moon is also a very creative energy, but it's more from the divine feminine perspective. So there's different ways to viewing that. So Cancer energy can be more sentimental as well. It likes to relive things, sometimes good and not so good. Oftentimes you'll see someone for comfort who is connected with Cancer energy, want to rewatch shows over and over again. While maybe, a different, maybe fire sign or something like that would want to, always bring, go to the next show kind of thing, like Sag may want to watch, other types of shows because it wants to explore a little bit more. But the Cancer is very, very naturally comfy in doing things over and over again because it's comfortable with that, which makes it very interesting for someone who has a moon sign in like Aquarius. It 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 naturally wants to go outside its comfort zone. So we're a unique pair. Let's just put it that way.
It's true.
And then the last one I have here is a cozy sacred space is necessary to recharge for a Cancer, or someone connected deeply to Cancer energy. Also, I did not put this in the slideshow, but one of the most important things in regards to Cancer energy that we can learn is water. What about the water? Water is very important for us to be able, especially as empaths, to filter out our negative energies, let them, move, because we can often have those energies get stuck. And if we're constantly drinking water, that is one way we can shift the energy. So now let's talk about Cancer's tikkun. What is a tikkun? Do you know what a tikkun is?
Tikkun has to do with repair and restoration.
Okay. So from the Kabbalistic perspective, Kabbalistic astrology is very unique because it's centered around the soul's journey. And so someone who was born as a Cancer, from a Kabbalistic perspective, we would say they weren't just placed in Cancer energy, but their soul actually chose exactly that moment in time to be present and work through the energies of Cancer. So, it comes with a long journey, from a Kabbalistic perspective. Like you said, a tikkun is a huge piece of this because it is recognizing that we do have a soul journey, and that through many lifetimes we may have been reincarnated in many different things, many different types of energies, and often or not, it indicates that if we were born under the sun of Cancer in a past life, or even most recent past life, in some people's beliefs, that you are actually a Capricorn. And why would that make any sense? Because Capricorn is the divine complementing energy of Cancer. So if we take a look at the picture that we have here, it's actually very unique because okay, so I'm gonna kind of put us on a focal point here. We have the purple planet that's over here, and then we have the orange planet. You see how they're exactly across from each other? That would be, from an astrological perspective, an opposition, which means that they're 180 degrees away. So in astrological terminology, Cancer's opposition is Capricorn. I like to present it more so from a divine complementing energy, because oftentimes people don't realize what the terminology is meaning. And so that divine complementing energy, I feel, shows a more broader perspective, rather than opposition, opponents. Now, I will bring, just because I said this, I'm actually going to bring another little perspective in so that we can get the full spectrum, right? Opposition in the past did not have the same type of definition that we have today. Opponents, for instance, like we're actually having the Olympics right now, right? At one point in time, opponents were looked at as a good thing because they were there to help us and make us stronger. And that's how we can actually take a look at this particular energy with, from a Kabbalistic perspective of the relationship between Cancer and Capricorn. Because they're there to make each other stronger. You cannot have one without the other. Often you'll see in the Kabbalah tree of life that you have pairs of things. Chesed and Gevora. You have Chokmah and Binah, Nitzach and Hod. I realize these are things probably that you have never explored before, but these are pairs showing us that one does not work without the other. And so this is where the Kabbalistic perspective comes from. So Cancer, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
Not so far.
Okay. So Cancer is given power by the moon and connects to the divine feminine presence in the universe. It also connects to the Sephira, Malchut. If we were to look at Malchut on like this tree of life, which is not necessarily a normal tree of life, it was just AI generated. So it's just a fun little picture. If we looked at the bottom circle, that looks like it's connected to the root, that would be the closest thing that we can look at is like connected to Malchut. Malchut, which is giving life to the physical manifestation in the world. Okay. Hebrew letters. The moon is created by the letter Tav. And the month of Cancer is created by Chet. So, which is really interesting because Tav is the last letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Tikkun or healing. Cancer invites us to acknowledge the healing nature of the family and dedication and devotion of that love. This is the antidote to disease of cancer. When we can heal family dynamics and the heaviness of the family lineage, we can repair the timelines of the future by living out a heart-centered life. You know, we have in this generation the conversation around the other cancer, the cancer that's more often, you know, connected with disease. And really, it's an indication that we're holding on to lots of emotional baggage that we don't need to carry. And often, more often than not, it's actually connected to our family lineage. And when we can do the soul work and be able to take off those layers, because we're often connected to seven lineages beyond us and before us. That's 14 generations. Okay. If we can reset that on behalf of the 7 before us, so that those moving forward, you know, our generations after us, we give our next generation a clearer path of potential and success. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I didn't even realize I'd be talking on this, but I love it.
I do have one question
Yeah,
regarding, like, so you talked about the Hebrew letters.
yeah.
What do you mean when it says the moon is created by the letter Tav and the month of Cancer is created by Het?
Okay, so these letters, if we were to look at the Sefer Yetzirah, which is the book of formation, the book actually tells us what letters create which things in the universe.
Okay.
So it literally tells us that the letter Tav, which is the last letter of the alphabet, created the Cancer energy. Now, I'm going to tell you right here, right now, I have not explored from that angle as much as I'd like to. It's a huge invitation to look a lot deeper into this type of energy. Chet. Now, I could go and take out my Kabbalistic runes and break down what those letters mean. I wish I had all of them stored in my brain, but I don't. Um, but like essentially the letter Chet is connected because it created that month of what is called Tammuz. And Tammuz was connected, like there's a lot of reflection time happening during that month because it's prior to the month that we walk into, which is called Av, the next month of the destruction of the temple. So there's a lot of fasting going on, and reflection energy and connecting with our intuition, which are the same themes of Cancer. And so I don't know if I really answered your question, but there's a lot to look into on why those connections are there.
That makes sense.
Okay, so let's see here. So we're going to take a look at Cancer from the perspective of the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series. So we're in week 3 of the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series, or otherwise known as Z's. Cancer is that 2-degree. Why? Okay, because we started with Scorpio energy, which was all about setting the sacred space for the transformation. This is the point where we've carved out that sacred space to start our journey of manifestation, or, co-creating with the universe. Now, the week 2, which is connected to the number 1 degree, okay, is Leo. And Leo, again, is very centralized through the sun energy. And so that is the moment where we start to really center things through the heart. We have that sacred space, and the first thing that comes into the forefront is the heart. And where we want to create from, what actually lights up our heart. And after we've done that, we move into the energy that we are now. So now that we're creating from the heart perspective, we're going to feel that energy through the soul. I feel my soul's vibration. Vibration's huge, because we can immediately see that through water. While frequency or harmonization is a very different type of energy. You would see frequency more associated with Aquarian energy, or harmonics, connected to more of the Libra energy. So let's go a little bit deeper into what we are creating and what we're actually tapping into during this week of Cancer. After opening your heart through Leo, tune into and connect with your soul, the source of our connection with our soul's mission. So everything we just spoke about in regards to our soul mission with Kabbalistic astrology, its role with Cancer is to tap into that energy. So, excuse me. If we want to take a moment, just kind of take a deep breath in, put our hand on our heart, and put our left hand about 2 inches above the belly button. We're going to take a deep breath in through the heart and channel it down into where our two fingers are. Taking a deep breath in. And keeping that awareness in that solar plexus, that belly. Where we have our 2 fingers is actually where we call the incarnational star. Let's take another deep breath in to this specific area. Taking a deep breath in now. Just take a moment and see what's coming up for us. Maybe you're seeing something in your mind's eye. Maybe you're just feeling the energies that's around you. because this is an area where it holds a lot of energy, I want to take a deep breath in. I want to take that deep breath in and bring in clear, like white energy. And we're going to exit out gray. All right, go ahead and do that now. Allowing that gray energy to go back to its source energy to be transmuted. And let's do this one other time. This time a big, big energy out. And now, this time, I want you to take a deep breath in, breathing in white energy, and then breathing out white energy. Go ahead now. Allowing ourselves to feel a little bit clearer in the solar plexus and connected to our soul's mission here. To this now moment, I'll give you a moment to do so. And when you're ready, what's very interesting is about the Cancer energy. So we often talk about intuition. Cancer energy is very different than Pisces energy. Pisces energy, we often explore the intuitive gifts that we have. Cancer energy is more connected to that inner knowing, kind of like our internal wolf. And so that's something that we can explore. It's like that gut feeling. But what's really important within this energy is that we clear ourselves out first before doing the work, because we can carry so much in this area that we often don't realize what is ours anymore and what is someone else's. And so it can get blurry. But you can give yourself little tools and tricks to be able to deepen your connection. Oftentimes for me, I like to say, let my yeses be yes and let them feel real good. And let my no's feel real bad. Like really like intense, like should not do that, cannot do that, don't do it. And because when you get into that state of knowing, you have to differentiate, am I scared? Is there fear involved? Or should I really not do that? And I think that's a huge key. All right. So I felt really, really, guided to go through that for a moment before we move forward. Do you have any questions? Okay. So connect with your intuition through your intuitive gifts and expand them through creativity. So another way we can tap into this is, yes, we can explore through meditation, but we can actually do some creative work. And there's many ways to do that. And we're going to explore all the different ways. So I won't go into too much detail now. Um, Identify healthy boundaries as an empath. That is super important um in regards to the Cancer energy. What is mine and what is not. And if it is not mine, return to sender. Identify your strengths and weaknesses as an empath. Knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are can help you on your path um of becoming a better individual, living to your fullest potential. And here's another little tip. Sometimes things can get super overwhelming, okay? And just as being a human. And one of the things that I've noticed that has been super helpful in my life is if I'm going through those those changes and things like that, and I'm trying to figure out how to get back on track, get back on my path, and there's that feeling of overwhelm. When you're in a space where you can remember things that help you on your path, take out a note card and write down all of the things that are your tools for your toolbox. For instance, like if I'm feeling super overwhelmed and I want to shift my energy, what can I do? Well, one of my things that I can do is I can go get some sage or Palo Santo and sage myself or Palo Santo myself. I can dance to move the energy if I'm feeling too overwhelmed. I can partake in my pomander from the Orasoma. If you guys have questions about that, go ahead and leave them in the comments. There's many things that we can do. We can go hug a tree. We can go take a nature walk. We can take a walk on the beach. Find what resonates for you. Put them on a note card. List as many as you possibly can and put it on your fridge or in a place that you know that when you're falling apart or you need some help, like you can go to that and see what your skills, like what your toolbox are. Like, what are the tools in your toolbox? There we go. I can't talk apparently. And this can also be very important in regards to like your diet too. And I'm bringing this up because cancer is actually connected to the stomach, which is also connected to what we put in our body. That water we talked about, the highest vibration of water is really important. Eating good foods can help us to feel stronger as an empath. Excuse me. Avocados. If you've seen like a huge difference, like with, oh, I'm not getting hangry because this is sustaining my, uh, like, sustaining me essentially, you know, writing that down as like good foods you can eat on a note card and having that near the fridge is really important too. So there's different ways we can, um, you know, counterbalance after feeling super overwhelmed. Empower your soul through learning your Zodiac empath skills, which we're about to get into. Learn to create ritual. This is really important because it allows you to empower yourself, and ritual brings meaning into life. Learn to connect to the moon and her cycles. This is also very important because we're daily, even beyond daily, working through many, many cycles. When we can identify the cycles, we can master the game. Any questions? Okay. All right. So, what is an empath? Jaina, can I ask you to unmute for a moment?
Yeah, sorry, I was, covering up my coughing.
No, it's okay. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind reading this slide.
Sure. What is an empath? It's someone who can connect and feel what others are feeling, someone who can feel intense feelings of overwhelm, someone who is sensitive in nature and is open at an energetic level. Maybe all of the above for myself.
I love that. So, at this moment in time, I want us to work on our Patronus. So, we just kind of lightly touched into it with that little meditation. But to really master this, we got to learn how to shield ourselves. Now, using outside things like crystals and aurosoma and polemanders and different things like that, it's good, but it's more powerful when we can really do that from an internal space. Because at that point, we realize that nothing is outside of ourselves. And what is the best way we can work on shielding ourselves is actually something we learned in Harry Potter. And what is that?
Expecto Patronum.
But what did Lupin have Harry do? What did he have him channel, essentially?
Um, Feelings of joy, of happiness.
So it was that love energy, kind of at the very beginning, when we put our hand on our heart and our other two fingers on our soul, we link the two together. Why? Because we know that our heart and our soul linked together is bringing love and joy. And there's a difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is fleeting. Joy is deep. And it doesn't matter what the heck is going on, you can tap into that level of joy. It has to be a memory, which is important here because Cancer rules our memories. When we can tap into a memory that is so powerful, nothing else matters. Nothing can get us down. That's what can shield us. So I want to take a moment and do that for a moment, okay? So I want us to tune in. And since we don't have wands, we have hands. I want us to put our hands together and rub them, blow into them, and kind of pretend like we have a ball here. Now, I want you to tune in to a memory that is super powerful, that brings this love and this joy together and to fullness. Let's do this now. when you have this memory, I want you to completely shield your entire auric field. You can do this with your hands, you can do this in your mind's eye, whatever feels good to you. When you're ready, let me know.
Ready.
Okay. So, I'm curious, would you like to share the memory that came up for you?
Sure.
Okay.
Um, it was the the moment that we both said that we're all in on this, on our relationship.
Whoa. Yeah, I could have definitely used that one too. Whoa. That's beautiful. Thank you, honey. Come here.
Mer.
So I actually chose a memory that was associated with my granny and my mom. Us, we would always go to St. Augustine together. And so I just kind of saw a bunch of flashes of like of of memories in St. Augustine. And also another thing that we'd always do is we would have story time in like we would lay in my granny's bed and she would tell us really funny and scary stories and me and my mom would laugh our butts off. Like it was unbelievable. And so like I was taken back into that moment of like, of that and just feeling her presence all around me.
That's awesome.
So like obviously we can have more than one memory to be able to do this, and the more we have actually strengthens.
Hmm.
So um like actually let's do that for a moment. So like let's take the original memory that we have here and let's build on it by one, okay? So now let's pick a different memory and add it to the mix and see and feel more so how powerful that energy is. Okay? So let's
Okay.
take a moment now. When you're ready, let me know.
I'm ready.
Did you pick another memory and how did that make you feel?
Um, I picked another memory when I became an aunt for the first time. I've got five nieces and nephews, and so I mean, I guess that's kind of amplified every time for me. Um, but yeah, that's, combining that, it's all about family for me. So that deep joy within family is kind of just expands everything.
Wow. And did you actually feel the depth of, the protection of your aura through that memory?
Hmm.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy cool.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I actually I used the memory that you had said
Hmm.
of us being all in and used that, and I was like, oh my gosh. And what was really cool that came through is like I often pick moments that have been in the past that, like loved ones passing on.
Hmm.
And what was powerful is you like allowed me acknowledge something that's in the present that, another generation really, like
Hmm.
another generation of energy of something I'm connecting to that's, you know, bringing things into the future. And so like it was really cool to feel like my past and future and the now truly protected,
Mm. Yeah.
which was epic. And I was like, wow. So that is our little 2 cents on the technique of a Patronus. Thank you, Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling. All right. So we're taking it into the Clairs. What are the Clairs? So are you familiar with the Clairs, honey?
I am.
Do you want to tell us what clairvoyance means?
Um, Clairvoyance is about vision. It's about clear. Well, clear in general means clear, right? That's what it's portraying. So clear vision, clear seeing.
Cool. Okay. And you can view this often, in meditation or sometimes in plain sight. You shared with me the other day, if you don't mind me sharing, um, the you seeing like hints of auras.
Mm,
That's a way of clairvoyance in a way,
mm,
being able to see that clearly. But it was with your naked eye too. So there's different ways
yeah.
we can play with these energies. And then it could mean seeing something that's of, the future. It could be seeing something of the past. Um, you know, or it could be in the moment, like we just mentioned.
Hmm.
Claircognizant is very it's pretty much what I had said in regards to that knowingness within us. So that internal wolf, that gut feeling, um, but the knowing. So there's a difference between the clairsentience and the claircognizance. So that knowing actual will have like some type of download with it. That clear feeling is like the actual pressure, you know? It's like, uh, I don't know if I should do this. And then you get that feeling, right? There's a difference between like that and saying, I know I'm supposed to go to Glastonbury in November. I just know. Different, but similar.
Right.
Clairaudient is clear hearing, right? So one of the major things that I can connect with this is angel radio. And that often you can hear a very high-pitched noise, um and you can ask for interpretation on that. There's different things you may be even able to hear in your own, you know like your own voice, like your own, like it doesn't necessarily have to go through the actual eardrum. It can. I know that I have a clear audience ability with hearing portals. I can actually hear where those energies like go into another dimension. That's a example of clairaudience. Um, but it can also uh be like I heard a voice, or I heard this voice within me. Do you have anything to add to that?
Would so
Mhm,
and maybe this is something different, but
mhm.
I've heard that when like a random song comes into your head or you hear a random song like that is clear audience. That happens to me a whole lot is like that I need some guidance on something or there's something that I need or something in my surroundings like there will be like either lyrics or something that just pops into my head from a song that I know from that hearing perspective.
Yeah, so like that is a great example. And something else that I can add to that, going back to clairvoyance as well, is like, does anyone have like photographic memory? That photographic memory is connected to this as well. So
Mm,
song and like for instance, movies or pictures in your head, I didn't realize that not everyone saw things in their head like movies. And when I thought everybody had it, but at a certain some point when I would explain myself, people thought I was crazy. And I was like, okay, well, that's a cool gift. And like seeing things in my head, like I would see tests in my head when I would like take tests in school. I mean, I was born with that ability, so it ain't cheating, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So we all have these unique type of abilities that we may not even realize that they're part of these clairs.
mm,
Um, Another one is clairgustance, which is clear tasting, like
mm,
maybe having something in your taste buds that you're craving. Um, we often get this craving thing, and sometimes it's literally maybe, you know, it's connected to something if we looked a little bit deeper, like is a loved one trying to send us a message, or like, you know, am I trying to eat that particular food because it's good for my body, and my higher self is saying, hey, you need this right now. Like I used to have that all the time with salt. I found out when I went to Mayo Clinic that um I was craving salt, and most people were saying, oh, you shouldn't do that. The doctor specifically even told me, you're craving it for a reason. You should listen to that. And it's not like I overdid it. It wasn't that kind of thing. It was like my body was truly craving salt. And what was actually happening is I was having hypotension because I had, like, what that means is low blood pressure. And so that salt was actually helping me get back to equilibrium. So we don't know why our body, have these type of senses always. But when we're aware of it and we're coming online to it, you know, we can work that muscle and start putting the puzzle pieces together if we need to know. Um, Another one is clair clairsalience, um, which is like, having to do with smelling. Maybe you might um smell like your grandmother's like old perfume, or smelled like, something like that. It could, people who are mediums can receive that type of energy all the time, and they realize they're actually connecting to someone's loved one or even their own. And then of course, clair empathy, um, like truly feeling other people's emotions as your own. Anything else we want to add?
Um, did you go over clear sentience?
Um, I kind of did with Claire knowing. So Claire,
Yeah, that works.
okay. but for clarification purposes, it's a deep feeling
Hmm.
and that gut feeling. All right. So here's our astrology refresher. So, for those who are tuning in, what are the foundational planetary placements in your chart? Oftentimes we talk about our three. Well, I want to challenge you to expand that perspective to the four because they're foundational for a reason. The sun represents the way you shine in this lifetime. So if you were born in Leo season, um, Leo, you know, is how you shine, and express yourself. Um, and it's a superpower that you tap into. So there with Leo, there's a lot of creative energies. Um, it is very in the limelight, and that doesn't mean you have to be like this. It really depends on if you're an introvert or an extrovert, right? So sometimes if you're a Leo and you're an introvert, that doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be in the limelight, but maybe the tasks that you do want to be recognized, you know? Like, for instance, you're an artist, but you don't want, you know, people to really know you. But you may want people to know your artwork. There's different ways of this, being displayed. Then we have a rising or ascendant, which is a calculation found by your birth time. This energy represents the personality that you greet others with. So your personality, like I'm kind of like a happy-go-lucky kind of dog, essentially. That is, I'm the glass always full. Let's forget half full. It's always full, right? Kind of deal. Um, that kind of energy that I display outwards to most people and that positivity is really connected with that Sagittarius. My rising is in Sagittarius. So we're going to see those positive attributes. Now, when I'm like in my feels and it's just like me expressing myself and I'm, not around a bunch of people or anything like that, if I'm in a mood, I may want to tear down everything and be super like, rawr, and that would be my Scorpio wanting to kill it, kill the duck, to transform it. Then our moon represents your connection with your emotions, past lives, the moon, ritual, divine feminine lineage. So all of these things are present within the moon. Mine's in Cancer. So like I'm super freaking emotional most of the time. I'm going to be very expressive in how my emotions are feeling. And I'm not afraid to share that, which also shows another me not being afraid to show that is another representation of my Sagittarius. It's blunt, but it's blunt in an emotional way because bam, Cancer moon. So, for instance, how does this display for you, hun, being an Aquarius moon?
Um, I can detach from my emotions pretty easily. Sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it. Aquarius is representative of air, so sometimes it's going with the flow, sometimes um I don't know what I was going to say.
And that's another explanation of air.
Exactly. There we go. Perfect example.
That was
Very
great.
flighty.
We love you. So then we have our Earth sign, which we spoke about before from an astrological perspective, and we have the perfect explanation right here on the screen with this nice little diagram. It is showing us, so we have Aries, which is at the top with at the very, very top, and it's across from Libra. Right next to it is Taurus, and that is across from Scorpio, the M with the arrow pointing up. Then Gemini is the next one over to your left, which is across from Sagittarius. Cancer is across from Capricorn, which is the N little thing right there. And then Leo is across from Aquarius. And then Virgo is across from Pisces. So if you know your sun sign, you can look at this right here, right now, and know what your Earth is. And so, hun, what is your sun sign?
So my sun sign is an Aquarius, which
And
means I'm a Leo Earth.
okay. And that Leo Earth represents, well, I should say that Earth sign represents how you connect with the Earth and where you ground in your soul's mission. So, for the sake of example, how do you feel like you connect with Leo from the Earth perspective?
Um, so I think it's about words need to come to me. Creating, well, it's about, so Leo's about creativity, right? It's that creative energy, a lot of it. And so for me, I'm very much into herbalism, and I study a lot with herbs and that kind of thing, and I create my own products. And so for me, it's bringing in those earth elements into that creative energy with that and the things that I'm creating for other people.
I love that. There's something else that you mentioned earlier, that I feel also connects. And I just want to like show up here, like, so like we have Aquarius and then a Leo across from it. Aquarius is often associated with friends, but Leo is associated with family. And you said
Mm,
something, I'm all about family. And
mm,
that's another connection point of you being grounded here on Earth. Like that's how you connect, is through family. And that's like a perfect example,
mm.
you know? Um, so I'm gonna move to the next slide. All right. Now we're getting to the zodiac energies. Yeah, baby. So here we go. Drum roll. Scorpio. The Scorpio empath skills. What is the Scorpio? It is the medium empath. So anyone in their chart, if you're a Scorpio sun, a Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, or have a Scorpio earth, pay attention. Can feel spirits, entities, and energies around them. They have the potential to go deep within realms and cultivate their energetic alchemy skills. Okay, let's break that down. So, mediums, what is a medium, hun?
It's someone who can connect with those who have transitioned spirits on the other side.
Right. Okay. So it's someone who is a mediator,
Mm,
essentially. And in this instant is definitely connected with the beyond, because Scorpio is all about life, death, and transformation. So those energies those spirits and entities and just raw energies, you can feel them around you if you're connected with, you know, with your empathic skills. Like sometimes you have to be awakened to these things, you know? Sometimes we come in with them and it's just like, oh, okay. And it gets so intense that we're like, I don't know if I want this. Been there, done that. I used to see spirits. I asked, it was too intense. I did not want to see them anymore, but now I feel them. So that is a huge thing. I drew a boundary between what was comfortable, like, and what I mean comfortable, like, you should never feel scared or like it's too much for you. So the moment that you feel like that, ask for those particular gifts to be transmuted in a way that is highest and best for you. Okay. So, and then they have the potential to go deep within the realms. So, like meditation energy and things like that, being able to connect with people's energies from that perspective, it's definitely a thing. And then cultivate their energetic alchemy skills in meditation, or, you know, what's the word I want to use? Like, um, what's the class we did with Pisces? Astral travel. That's the word. When you're in spaces like this, um, and doing remote viewing and different things like that, often if Scorpio is at a deep level of connection with their empath skills, you can do a lot of interesting, strange things. Um, this is you can work through, you know, alchemy, literally. Um, and so what we need to connect with is the tools to carry and to connect for Scorpio. And then the maintenance, the helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. This is really freaking important, especially for those who are connected with Scorpio. I cannot say that any clearer. Energetic protective gear such as Sage of Palo Santo or Orosoma Palmander, Florida Waterworks as well. Salt's a purifier, okay? Protective stones like shungite, black tourmaline, selenite, and also what we just learned earlier today, being able to learn how to shield ourselves. Those type of tools is really essential, especially because oftentimes if Scorpio knows it can do it, or even has the thought that wants to do it, because it's an investigative kind of energy, right? And it wants to go deep. It doesn't want to go surface level. It wants to go freaking deep into the trenches. That means you need to be prepared, because you don't want to bring all of that crap up and have it stuck to you. It's like poop being stuck on, okay? No. Learning to manage your energy is really freaking important, especially if you want to do more exploration. Then the next thing I have on here is clarifiers, crystals, cards, your intuition. So clarifiers is like, okay, if you're going to be doing this type of work, being able to confirm, like clarifying what you're working with, who you're working with, that kind of thing. Now, for me personally, I ask when I'm doing very ritualistic things or connecting with deep energies and things like that. I asked to go directly to the source for my information. I don't really want to work with like other players, honestly, like guides and things like that, unless like I don't want to start there. I don't want to start with a guide, and I don't want to start with an angel or anything like that. I want to start with source, and from source, um, if an angel presents himself or a guide, I feel more comfortable. But everyone has their own way of working with things. That's the way that works well for me. But knowing who you're working with is really important. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any questions?
Nope.
Always trust your intuition. Always. I realize this sounds very intense, but we're talking about Scorpio here. Helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. It is important to create clear boundaries doing this work. So, like I said, if something becomes too scary, you say, I don't want this anymore in this way. Please transmute it. Work with what feels appropriate for you. Learn to close down properly so your energy doesn't become drained. That is really important. What you open, you close. You don't close, you have problems. Understand?
Yes.
Understand.
Yes.
Learn clearing statements. So one of the things, and you can do multiple of these things, right? I tend to like to call back my energy and send back energy that's not mine. So here's an example. Calling back all of my energy in full to be cleansed, cleared, released, renewed, and only my essence be integrated back to my being with grace and ease at speed of light and speed of sound processing as above and so below. Now, that's part one. Part two would be sending back any energies in full that's not of my own true essence to be cleansed, cleared, released, renewed, and sent back to its source. Again, in full. With grace and ease at speed of light and speed of sound processing as above and so below, and so it is. So when we have our own version of clearing statements, the important thing is not for you to memorize something so you just did it. It's to fully feel it. Because yes, there is a level of saying something out to the universe that is important, but we can also do this by literally feeling it and doing the energetics of it. Like I just collected all of my essence and sent back. If we don't feel it, then why? There's no point in it. You know what I mean? So the knowing and the feeling is important. And then taking long showers with special soap or baths with Epsom salt. If you're doing some intense work, like what is mentioned here, working with, other dimensions or, mediumship type of stuff, taking showers to cleanse your energy is really important. And if you have like a special soap, so I have my soap that's from Glastonbury that takes me to another level. And then I can't really do baths well. So sometimes I'll bring salt into the shower. But someone who does like to do baths can use Epsom salt and different types of essential oils, and that could be very, very powerful in cleansing your energy. All right, let's move on from Scorpio. We all good here? By the
Yep.
way, all of this artwork is by Shakina Soul Healing Expressions, which is my artwork. Leo Empath. Okay. So the Leo Empath skills is connected with psychometry. I don't know if I spelled that right. It's like psychometry, okay? Psychometric. There we go. The psychometric empath. There we go. I can feel the emotions of someone who has touched something or someone they then touch. So, honey, what does that mean to you since your Earth is in Leo?
Um, I'm drawing a blank. I guess I haven't thought about it from that perspective, the psychometric perspective. I mean, I know what psychometry is.
Please explain.
So psychometry is like you can pick up an object and you can feel or see things from it. Like for an example, my sister and I went to an antique shop. She happened to pick up this old paintbrush. She immediately got a vision of this old man whitewashing his fence and how he felt in that moment. Um, so that is psychometry. So um I guess I don't know from my perspective. I need to deep dive on that, I think.
No, it's okay. That right there is really, really important what you just explained. So this is an invitation that how do you connect with that? And maybe you've never touched upon it before, you know? Again, it's in your earth placement, which means um oftentimes we need to look at the other side of the coin, to be able to connect with that type of energy. It may be part of your soul mission. You know what I mean? With the tikkun. Who knows? So tools to connect. Do you want to read that for me?
Sure. Tools to connect. Pay attention to objects you touch, texture, temperature, memories coming up, or internal feelings.
Okay.
Learn to work with tools like pastels in your art to improv your intuitive gifts.
Improve, sorry.
Oh, improve your intuitive gifts.
But it works.
Um, your physical touch can be very healing, so massage therapy can be a powerful gift from you to another.
So these are all the ways that you could connect different tools. There are probably thousands. I just chose a few. Can you think of anything that would help you go deeper in regards to this psychometric type of empath skill?
Mm, no, not right now.
That's okay. So yes, so like um, you know, using art can be a huge way. Massage therapy because it's with feeling and touch. Um, and you know, being able to pay attention, like your sister, saw a vision. So she was pairing within her psychometric gift that she has that clairvoyance, you know?
Would automatic writing be included in this?
I didn't put that on there, but yes, it could.
Okay.
See, that's why having a class with multiple people is really important because I'm in a certain state of consciousness when I write it, but I can't think of everything. I'm not meant to, you know? So thank you for that. That's really helpful. Speaking of helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. Self Reiki daily. Washing daily to cleanse your energy. spiritually washing your hands, like a hand washing ritual. We see this often in Judaism. We have a specific basin that we wash with every time we use the bathroom or we wake up in the morning or wash before bread. Carrying pocket stones like malachite, tiger's eye, or petrified wood. Those specific stones are really powerful for the Leo energy. Malachite connects you with the heart. It actually increases blood circulation and blood flow. Tiger's eye is very grounding to the Leo, as well as petrified wood. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Cancer empath skills. So the Cancer empath is known as the chameleon or the pure empath. It can mirror any emotion around them, has the opportunity to cultivate deep caring within their being because they can feel so purely. So, tools to connect. Slow down and tune into your intuition. It's really important. Establish with your emotions. By slowing things down, it's kind of like the waves of the ocean, allows you to become one with your intuition. So having things come in too fast, it can disrupt things, you know? So to be able to slow it down will help you get into a certain rhythm or cycle with your intuition. Now I just want to share, like, yes, we can look at our charts and everything, but all of these different types of empath skills, like, we have all of these energies within us in different amounts. So like this could be really relevant to you if you get like oh, wait, that may actually be helpful for me, So pay attention what your intuition is saying, essentially. Okay, so pay attention to the difference between the feelings feelings of resistance and fear, which we spoke about earlier. Carry items such as selenite, clear quartz, moonstone, and pearl with you for amplifying clarity through the feelings you receive. Selenite is pure salt. So, it helps you to really cleanse your energy, your auric field. Clear quartz amplifies. And then moonstone and pearl are stones that are really connected with the moon energies. So then learn to connect to the moon and its moon cycles. Very, very important. Helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance.
Oh,
You all right?
good.
Water is your best friend. Water is your best friend for cleansing, calm, and clarity. That means drinking it. That means bathing in it. That means being near it. Anything having to do with water can be very, very helpful in regards to healthy maintenance and closing down and clearing your energies. Take time for yourself to process a good book or show with a soft blanket and a warm drink. It could be very restorative. Learn to properly close down by using closing statements or a soma pomander or a soma sprays, or using visualization, which we've done. Use dancing as a way to shift the energy when you're feeling heavy. So this is really huge for someone who may uh, often be very connected with their emotions. Um, how we can shift or change something is by dancing, getting those, moving your body work, any type of stuff like that. When we do that, it will move the energy that's stuck in our bodies. Anything else in regards to Cancer?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay. Sagittarius. So I'm a Sag rising, so this definitely applies. Sagittarius empath skills. Enlightened empath can sense the truth inside others as well as identifying deep truths along their journey. The bullshit detectors. All right, tools to connect. Work on strengthening your channeling abilities. Playing psychic development games. That's always fun. Doing a podcast and allow your natural gifts to flow through as you speak your truth. So having something like a podcast or doing a live or something to that effect, you're not planning anything. You're simply allowing the channeled information that your higher self is dropping into your psyche and your mouth to just flow and really get connected and familiar with that flow and that energy. And then go on an adventure to connect with culture and meet new people. This can help shape open-mindedness rather than falling into judgment. So one of the downfalls of the, Sagittarius energy that can be is they always can think they're right and they can be super judgy. And if they get super religious, right, they think they're right in regards to that religious belief because Sagittarius is all about the belief system. So it can be taken to an extreme, of course, without, having some type of a balance. It can also present itself in other ways where it's the absence of belief, the absence of, um, like truth, deciding that they don't know how to tell the truth. Those kind of things. It's the conversation around this topic is the most important. So going on an adventure, for instance, and connecting with different cultures, can help with that open-mindedness and seeing how, everyone has their own truth, their own belief system, or, all of that type of stuff. Of course, there are universal truths, okay? But you going on these different adventures can help, with the fuller picture. And then meditation can be a powerful tool for you to expand your gifts because, again, Sagittarius is connected with Jupiter, which is all about expansion. Helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. Take appropriate time for recharge after your travels to avoid burnout. Very freaking important. Be open to using a schedule to help you not overbook yourself. Keep a traveling toolkit of necessities that are always packed to help you feel more organized. Oftentimes, someone who has Sagittarius greatly in their chart, they can feel overextended because everything feels appealing to them. They like all these different things. And so their energy is more of like a fire outgoing type of energy. And so you can get stuck in a huge loop if you're not preparing properly. So being a Sag rising myself, I try to prepare as much as I can for my travels, though even though sometimes that can be a lot in itself. But having something that's always there so you don't feel so scattered is really important. Taking moments of resting your eyes with a cool compress over your eyes, because Sagittarius is actually connected to the third eye. And so, one thing that can be very strong is actually clairvoyance. And so if you put that compress, that warm compress or cool compress, whatever feels more comfortable to you, over your eyes, it can help you reconnect with that particular clair. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right. Going into Aquarius. So, honey, go ahead and read this one for me.
Okay. Aquarius is the Gaia empath. Um, can connect to everything and everyone around them, including the Earth's frequencies. Can naturally feel into how everything and everyone can come together as one.
Beautiful. Do you want to read the tools to connect?
Sure. So tools to connect are learning about the Schumann resonance and geomancy. So I
Gaiamancy.
think Gaiamancy. Okay. Um, so just as an example, the Schumann resonance for me, something I started connecting into last year, the last couple of years, really last year and a half or so. But what I've realized is I have what was diagnosed as something called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, but it's where my cerebral spinal pressure can go up and it can cause headaches and things. But what I've realized is that when we have a lot of energies coming from solar flares and coming into the earth, I can feel that pressure. That pressure starts to rise. Just the other day, we were having a bunch of solar flares coming in, and I could feel it. I was feeling into it on a different level, so I can feel it in my body. What the energies of the earth are feeling. So, um, next one is learn to work with groups on humanitarian projects, like work or volunteer. Meditate and learn to connect the dots of your own channelings. And play energy experiment games where you observe and record notes and make conclusions.
Does that all make sense?
Mhm. It does.
Um,
Um,
mhm.
no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Helpful hints. Do some laughter yoga to help you shift your emotional state. Go into nature and ground. Um, use essential oils or orosoma to stimulate the senses. Implement a schedule for to-do lists, cleaning and organizing to help you maintain for a busy lifestyle, and decompress with a funny show. Something that brings you happy, joy, laughter.
Does that resonate with you?
Yes, very much so.
All right. We're going to shift frequencies, huh, to Gemini. Gemini is the telepathic empath, an extremely sensitive individual who can attune to the communication all around them, such as other people's thoughts. Tools to connect. Connecting with animals is helpful to sharpen your telepathy. Be open to learning different languages to help expand this part of the mind. Begin your own podcast to connect with others and listen more. Um, Geminis seem to be very, very into talking. They're very talkative. But also what is really important is listening too. And our practitioner for Gemini really, she's a Gemini, ironically. She really teaches that level of listening being so important. And yeah, so I just wanted to like really highlight that. Helpful helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. Find a partner who you feel safe with to bounce ideas off of. This is really important for a Gemini. And probably any air sign, to be honest with you. Um, because like they can't hold on to it all themselves. And to be able to bounce these ideas off of what like is good and what is not so good, or what's for here and what's for not now, that kind of thing, and to sort it out a little bit. And then also, I didn't put this down there, but writing down the conclusions is really important as well. While you're bouncing the ideas off of, like, even having someone write down them for you, because you're going to be in a state of flowing the communication essentially. And this can be really helpful also for Sag as well. Take short journeys to help you recharge. Very, very important for a Gemini, and probably bring some friends along. Journal your thoughts to help process your thoughts. And then do some acting to help express your emotions in a dynamic way. Any questions?
No, just a comment that a lot of those, like you said, pertain to other air signs as well. Like journaling your thoughts.
I was like, I know these are repeatable on some of them, and I'm like, but I'll have like 50 on each one, and we'll never get through the slides.
That's true. That's true.
Libra. Libra's empath skills is called the emotionally receptive empath. Hun, would you mind doing this one?
Sure. Um, they can feel the emotion of other people and it can affect their judgment. They can also tune into others' emotions to highlight where balance is needed. Tools to connect, learning more about neuroscience, finding a creative outlet to channel your creative forces, learn more about the inspirations of the classical Greeks, art, philosophy, writing, music, and poetry. And then finding a weekly group or organization that you can be a part of with your family, writing club, mahjong, religious organization, softball, band, anything like that.
So
Um,
I want to go back to the neuroscience for a moment.
mhm.
This is something that's really, really helpful. Oh, you know what? Go on to helpful hints. I'll do it then.
Okay.
Because I already have it on there.
Um, use the hemisync.
Speaking of the hemisync, so a hemisync is essentially you're being able to connect both sides of the brain together. And how do we do that? Well, here's one example. We take our hands, cross them, connect them, and bring it in at the heart. This is really helpful if you're feeling stressed out or overwhelmed, to help bring back homeostasis to the body, connecting the heart and the mind, which Libra is in charge of. It's finding balance between the heart and the mind. And then the other is simply putting both hands together like this. That's a hemisync. when you cross your legs. It's technically a hemisync, but probably not so great for circulation. So I don't advise that one as much. But, these two are really easy to do. Go ahead.
All right. Find a physical activity to burn off some energy and turn off the mind. Journal your thoughts, art or music therapy, and just a regular routine.
I love it. All right. Let's float on into Pisces. Pisces empath skills. This is the astral empath. Can sense what is going on in different planes of existence and can feel something before someone else knows what they are feeling, as well as knowing things before they happen. Tools to connect with. Go to Soul School or School of Metaphysics. Work on meditation. Do more art and creative projects. Work on psychic development through games. Helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. Read a book. Create daily times for recharge. Volunteer somewhere weekly. Abstain from alcohol and drugs unless in ritual. This is actually really important for someone who is Pisces energy or has Pisces largely in their chart. Because Pisces can be closely connected with substance abuse. And so these, because they can float so high, it can be a very easy escapism. And so unless you're really doing these things for ritual, like for instance, you're Jewish and you want to, drink wine for Kiddush or something to that effect, that you're bringing it holy, bringing it to a higher space. If you're Native American and smoking the peace pipe or whatever, you know what I mean? Like if you're doing it for some type of ritual with actual intention, it can be helpful. But beyond that, doing it in a habitual way is really, really harmful for the Pisces energy. Let's see here. Capricorn. Capricorn is the geomantic empath. Can sense energies within places and is known as the feng shui detector. Is able to also tune into the land, the ley lines, and foundations of the earth. Tools to connect with. Learn more about geomancy. Now, geomancy is a bit different than Gaiamancy, though I'm still learning. But geomancy is specifically having to do with the earth. That could mean like, for instance, scrying on the earth. If anybody knows what scrying is, it's being able to see interpretations through, like, say, the branches of the trees. That's one way. There is actually, learning about the different parts of the earth, from like, what are the chakras of the earth? What are the different ley lines? Also actually looking at, going on there and seeing how, connection points with earthquakes and why are earthquakes happening at certain times. Like learning about all of these different things having to do with the earth is really, really important for this type of skill set with Capricorn. Become familiar with stones and rocks and their metaphysical attributes. That can be really fun. Learn more about feng shui in the home. which is more spatial, which is cool, and can give you a lot of insights. Learn more about local histories in your area. We think about Capricorn being connected with Saturn and kind of the timekeeper, and timekeeper has to do with history. And so you might be able to actually tap into your gifts in a different way through history, just knowing your history. And especially in your local areas, because that can also be about learning what's on the land and the actual physical, you know, the physical spaces around you. Share your skills of business and marketing with others if you have them. Capricorn is also connected with mad marketing skills and business type of skills when they tap into them. So like being able to look through that type of lens as well. Helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. Bring yoga into your life to help balance different parts of structure within your life. Go hug a tree when you are feeling overwhelmed. Reorganize your home once a month and let go of items that no longer serve you. Work on positive talk towards yourself and others. Have a healthy structure in your life. Those are all very important things for the Capricorn energy. Aries. Honey, do you want to read this one?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. The fauna empath. The force of spring naturally stepping into the energy of inspired action. Connects with the innocence of life. Tools to connect. Playing games with friends that help challenge you. Connecting with the element of fire. Allow your inner child to express itself. Doing artistic projects. Helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. Exercising. Taking time to go on adventures. Decorate your space with twinkly lights or something fun. Connect with nature for recharge. Connect with animals for recharge. And challenge yourself with a leadership project.
How does that all feel for you?
I think I'm an Aries rising, so tapping into that inner child, like playful energy, I don't do it enough. So I know that when I'm in a much better space when I am able to do that more and more.
I love that. Taurus. The Taurus empath skills. Physically receptive empath. Can mirror the emotions of others into their physical body from all around them. Can connect with others in the aesthetic realm and identify their specific energetic imprints. Tools to connect. Learning energy work and practice. Meditation, gardening, learn about Kabbalah. So this particular empath skill is it's complementing energy is Scorpio. So you're gonna feel some more intenseness with Taurus, but not at the surface level. You're going to feel it at a deeper level, of course. That's why learn about Kabbalah is nice and awesome. Helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. Camping, daily showers. Learn to call back your energy and send back others. Track your manifestation journey through journaling. All right. We good here? And
Yep.
last but not least, Virgo. Virgo is the flora empath. Can affect or be affected by flowers, plants and trees around them. Also can talk to plants and tune into their frequency for healing purposes. Can have a strong connection with the Fae energy, like fairies, fairy realm. Tools to connect. Learn about herbology. Freely talk to plants and animals. Go on adventures, especially in nature. Learn about druidry or Celtic lore. Helpful hints to close down and healthy maintenance. Go into go into nature daily. Learn to call back your energy and send back others. Establish a healthy routine. Implement positive affirmations into your routine. This is probably the largest and biggest one yet for a Virgo. So if you have any part of Virgo, well, we all do, but if you have anything heavily in your chart with Virgo, if you did not hear anything else I said, please, for the help of yourself and everyone around you, implement positive affirmations into your routine. Sorry. I'm not trying to pick on you guys. Cancer conclusion. Wrapping things up. Was this class helpful for you?
I think it was for me. It gives me different perspectives on, the different types of energies and tools that can really help.
Cool. Would you like to share any thoughts or reflections about your experience today?
I think for me, a takeaway is just diving into my earth sign more and learning more about that and how it relates to um that empath skill. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I feel like Leo class, from my perspective, looked really impactful for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, like the pastel energy and connecting with all of that, it was very kinesthetic. And it was working with those creative energies in a new way that I've seen you do. And you were really creative and good at the artwork. Also Scorpio class, doing the vision board thing, which is another, I could have totally done that for Leo too, you know what I mean? But it felt like you really tapped into it. So I definitely feel like there's something, a nugget of gold for you to explore that energy, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you, anyone who attended, and thank you, Jaina, for being here with me in the class itself. If you're watching later and you have questions, please reach out. You can go to Katriel, Katriel, at energyspeaksbykatriel.com and email me. I will respond. And you can check out our website for more events. We have another class tomorrow that is free. That will be about the new moon energy and how to create a new moon ritual. That was originally going to be in person, but because of the current storm, I don't want to put anybody's safety at risk by us all going to a beach at probably the worst moment in time to do so. So we're gonna do that from
It
our
would be a very watery experience, though.
It would. It definitely would. But for the sake of safety, because you don't know if power lines or anything would be down or flooding. um, we get to connect with everyone online. It gives an opportunity for us all to connect again. And we can do this from the beauty of our own homes. So if you're watching this now, and you can tune in for that at 8 p.m. and it'll most likely be from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That class. And if you're wanting that link and you see this on here, just send me your email and I can send that to you. So again, thank you everyone. Please subscribe to this channel if you like this content, and share it with another if you feel it's valuable. All right. I love you all, divine, beautiful souls. And I'm going to figure out how to get out of this particular screen share. And